everybody, welcome back to Kruse Control. It is Monday, October 7th, 2024. Welcome to Kruse Control, the home of entertainment news. I'm your host, as always, Brian Kruse. Welcome back, everybody. Happy Monday. Hope you had a great weekend. You accomplished all those goals. Like I said before, maybe you went for the biggest adventure of your life, and it was amazing, and you conquered the world. You climbed a mountain, you fucking went to a circus, and you ate a giraffe, or you clicked that giraffe, or you became best friends with that giraffe, then you fell in love with that giraffe, then the most amazing business happened in the world, and that was love. That'll be a good week anyways. Appreciate you guys so much. Happy Monday. It's going to be a fantastic Kruse Control session today. Thank you for being here as always. And join me back on Kruse Control, everybody. You love her. Art Heart's fantastic out there. Director, creator, Miss Lexi Koval. Lexi, how are you doing? Welcome back to Kruse Control, Lexi.
Hi. It is I, the true queen of Monday.
Milkshake.
I got the milkshake.
Drink it up.
There's a milkshake going on. There's a lot of stuff happening. How you doing, Lexi?
I'm here. You're the queen of Monday.
Yes.
Ready to,
You're the queen of Monday.
Ready to bring the negativity? Maybe some positivity. Who knows?
You know, negative. There's good stuff too.
And you, Lexi.
Maybe some good stuff too.
Always a pleasure, Pepe. You know I love you.
Good to see you. Hey, right, Pepe knows, right, Pepe? Yeah, Pepe's
Take
all
it
over
from
the
a
place.
guy who's eating a few socks. This stinks.
I feel like I'm just getting started. Like now I'm starting to get lead roles. Now I'm starting to build on my career.
We have a weird echo thing happening, don't we?
I have it coming out of my teeth.
Do I have an echo? No, I don't. All right.
No.
I got
Okay,
it.
I just heard a weird echo thing. Okay, it's good. We're going to see Alexi. It's going to be a fun night tonight. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
It's going to be great. Also joining us back, everybody, the Thirsty Daddy is here, the technical director himself, Mr. GR Waters. GR, how are you doing, man? Good to see you.
Good to be here, Brian. It's another Monday. We've run alcoholic.
Good to see you, GR.
Good to be
How's
here,
your
buddy.
weekend?
Too short.
Too short. That's how.
And too hot.
Oh, the valley's been way too hot. But you know what? It's almost winter, GR. Winter is coming.
Thirsty
That's
Daddy
alleged.
is
I
here.
can't believe it when it gets here.
It's gonna happen, GR. We're good to see you, man. Happy to have you back on a Monday. Happy Monday, everybody. Hey, Queen, what's up going on? How you doing, Queen? Hope you had a good weekend too. Everybody in the chat, thank you for being here as always. And also joining us here on Kruse Control. It's been a few weeks. We're happy to have him back, everybody. Stand-up extraordinary comedian out there, but you know him, you love him, Mr. Mark Hurtado. Mark, how you doing? Welcome back to Kruse Control, man.
What up, man? Just been eating some giraffes. Pretty good. On the
It's a wild time.
Giraffe diet.
You had a wild weekend, right?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Thanks for the recommendation, by the way.
Yeah, man.
I was skeptical at first, but now they're pretty good.
How have you been? What's been new?
Pretty good. Just grinding. We out here about to go to Austin on the 14th and 15th. I'll be
Nice.
doing shows at a Velveeta Room and Creek in the Cave if anybody is in ATX.
Nice, man. You've been all over the place too, haven't you? I know you were traveling for a while, right?
I was in Portland. Got to go to Portland for the first time. It was really cool. Really dig the city. You know they don't pay taxes in Portland?
Really?
I didn't know that.
Like no,
Yeah,
no state taxes at all?
I guess not. Well, yeah, I
You
guess
can't
not.
pump your own gas.
I heard that. I never had to because I was just riding public transportation, but that's weird.
You don't pump your own gas, GR? Is that what you said?
You legally can't.
Really?
I
In
mean,
Jersey,
I know a guy.
Jersey's really
I'll
bad for
find a
that.
way.
They actually have old-fashioned service stations.
Oh, wow. Well, that's kind of cool.
I don't like.
I mean, I like
pumping
that.
my own gas. I hate that shshit.
I kind of be like, yeah, fill my gas tank up.
Don't touch my car. Don't touch it. Get away from it.
Well, I don't know. I think it's interesting. What's up, Barnabas Collins? Welcome to Kruse Control. I also saw David Banner out there. Good to see you, David. Good to see all you back here in the chat. So happy to have you here. Happy Monday, everybody. Happy Monday. It's going to be a good day. It's going to be a great day. Right, Peppy?
Everybody in the chat loves the Pep Star, and Pep Star loves everybody in the chat. Yowza!
Thanks, Peppy. We're happy to see you. And everybody, good to see you, Rachel. Happy Monday. But it doesn't matter what day it is, the week on Kruse Control, there's always one thing going on, everybody. You know what that is? You love it. Doesn't matter Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. 8 days a week, there's always one thing going down. And that is a lot of breaking news. Come on. The Rings of Power, everybody. The second season has finished out there, and they're on the verge of a renewal. On the verge. Now, it hasn't happened yet because this is like one of the biggest, like, honestly, biggest budget TV shows for Amazon right now. The first season alone, they spent $465 million in the first season. The second season, $700 million on 8 episodes, guys. That's crazy. And honestly, the first season didn't do that well. It was kind of a snooze fest a lot of the times. And the second season, I think, did pick up the pace quite a bit. Last episode is really freaking good. I think we're at a great spot now for the series. But honestly, I don't know. They say 55 million people watch this second season. I don't know if I believe that. Again, you think they would have picked this up right away? I think there's a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes. And I'm not sure if we get a third season of this. I hope so, because again, I would say the second season's great. They really picked up that pace and got into the nitty gritty and the business of what they're actually doing here for the series. But we'll have to wait and see because Amazon has a lot of money. They have money to shove, rocket penises into space. Maybe we can get some more rings, everybody. Get some more rings because Disney is bringing out more Inside Out. I think there'll be more coming because Inside Out 2 has been doing fantastic. Like the ratings are insane right now, guys. Now they dropped it on Disney Plus, and of course, look at this initially. This is the highest grossing animated movie of all time. Crazy. The second one is all time. And now they dropped it on Disney Plus at 30.5 million views. Million views in the first 5 days. That's nuts. We've been talking about stuff like this before. The numbers aren't like that on streaming. Like the Dahmer one was like 19 million. So it's still big numbers for a streaming movie coming out. Everybody's excited about it. The first one, people went back and watched too and jumped those numbers up as well. So Inside Out 2 is doing great. I can't wait to go check this out. I haven't seen it yet, but I bet Inside Out 3 will be coming before you know it. But there is an Despicable Me 4 coming, everybody. It's already out, but it's coming to Peacock now, streaming on October 31st. So we're waiting for the streaming wars for this. There's so many of these movies. How's there a fourth one already? Fourth one, but Peacock's getting it on October 31st. $100 million budget. This made $954.1 million. So these things are still doing great enough to warrant making more movies. But to me, I'm like, wow, there's a fourth one already? I've only seen the first one. So is it worth going back and watching them? Let me know. You guys are still watching them, so there must be something good about these. I gotta tell you. But speaking of Despicable, R. Kelly, everybody. R. Kelly's back in the news because he thought that he was going to get his judgment appealed. Yep, he wants to get out of jail after his 30-year sentence for sex trafficking went through in his 2021 New York case where he was found guilty for child pornography in Chicago as well. For 20 years, he was set up for jail in 2023. Now, he tried to go back to jail or try to go back to court and get this appealed. Now, he said he was wrongfully retroactively prosecuted under a federal law that passed in 2003 that made the statute of limitations indefinite for sex crimes with minors. And so he was wrongfully charged. Fool, you just fucking kids. Leave kids alone. I don't care. You fuck with kids. It doesn't matter what happens. You should go to jail. That's all I'm saying. Like, fuck. Oh, I mean, it was a long time ago I touched that kid. It's fine. No, it's not fucking fine, man. So you know what? The judge said no, declined to respond to the appeal, and R. Kelly is going to stay in jail. And another person trying to get their stuff appealed is Jussie Smollett. I always I mess his name up all the time. So I hear like Smollett. I always hear another comedians come forward and making fun of him. But Jussie Smollett, again, this happened in 2019, racist, homophobic attack that was he allegedly staged. He was found guilty for staging this when he was working on Empire, and he went to jail for it. So he got charged for it. Now he's trying to appeal the whole thing. He's saying that he is innocent to this day. He's paid $3 million here fighting this, and he's trying to get off of this because he didn't do this. But again, all the evidence pointed towards him, so I don't really think this appeal will go through. Maybe it will. Maybe I'll be wrong. But Jussie, good luck, man. Good luck with that adventure because I don't think it's going to work out that well. Just like Diddy's not going to work out that well if you ask me either because more Diddy stuff keeps coming. And everybody loved to be Diddy's friends before. Look at even Elon Musk was like, yeah, we text a lot. We're good friends. Radio silence now. Radio silence. But all this stuff is coming up because everybody was his best friend back in the day and nobody wants anything to do with him now, of course, besides all this stuff going on with all of his charges for sex trafficking and for his whole empire going down. So we'll have to see what happens to Diddy. I don't think it's anything good. He hasn't been eating in jail. Apparently he's been worried about being poisoned and, he's just sitting it out. And we're still waiting for a trial. But also, there was a rumor going around that his baby oil was laced with GHB. And that's how he was actually raping people, too. Can you lace baby oil with GHB? I don't know if that's a real thing or guys. I don't know. But some video came out that kind of makes... It doesn't sound good now. He's talking about all the women to use the lube and oil up. And he's telling the guys put Listerine strips in their mouth so if they've been smoking blunts, they can get in those ladies. And it doesn't sound good. None of this stuff sounds good. If you ask me.
I always have a guy test my baby oil. It's worth it. It's worth every penny. Have a baby oil tester. Never be too safe, guys.
Can't be too safe. I never heard this shit before, like baby oil, GHB. I mean, okay, we'll have to wait and see what happens with this. But he's still saying he's innocent. He's innocent. He's innocent, even though everybody else is running away and screaming and saying he's not. We'll have to wait and find out what happens in the court of law. But someone that's finally saying they're not innocent is Mark Chavez, who was one of the doctors charged with the overdose of Matthew Perry. Now, he pleaded guilty now just this last week, and he came forward for a federal count of conspiracy to distribute ketamine. Now, he could face up to 10 years in federal prison off of this. Now, he's the third out of like 5 people that come forward that have actually taken plea deals like he did. He was released on a grant for $50,000, and he's not allowed to practice medicine anymore. And he's waiting for his trial now to find out, or sentencing. So we'll wait and see on April 2nd how he'll actually be charged and sentenced. But he could be 10 years in prison. We'll have to wait and find out. I'm happy we have at least more 10 more years of Al Pacino, right? Dude, COVID almost took him away, though, guys, because apparently he had COVID really bad, where he said his pulse stopped, and he just almost died. He was with his family and his friends, and he just, like, blacked out. And then he woke up. There were a bunch of doctors around him and stuff like that. Like, he's alive. He's here. He's awake. So apparently he was that sick from the coronavirus. He never talked about that. He almost died. And he was talking about now about how he was, like, so happy to be alive again because he's got his young girlfriend. He's got the kid coming and all that. So he's really happy to still have a future. And we're happy to have you, Pacino, man. Keep moving, man. Keep rocking. Keep making shit happen. I can't wait to see more movies by you. His career will not die anytime. But Paramount, we're still wondering what's happening with Paramount because it was sold, of course. But now it's a class action lawsuit going against Paramount Studios. This is like, they've had these big layoffs. Talking about that for a while. All these massive layoffs. Now, phase 2 was going through. They got rid of 15% of the workforce in this new phase. And New York, though, where it's going down, there's a law in New York that says that all the workers need a 90-day notification if they're going to be laid off. And they didn't give that in this case. Now, because of that, they could be charged to actually pay the employees 60 days worth of wages because that was broken. Now, Paramount's coming forward and saying that's not true. Like, this is all false, and this is not going to go through the way you were thinking it's going to happen. These claims are not grounded in fact, they were saying. I don't know if I believe that. If that's a law in New York, you probably have to face the freaking charges, Paramount, and pay your people. And pay your freaking people, man. It goes a long way. Should play me in a movie. He could be, man. That'd be great. I'll get to see Al Pacino play it. Let's fight for that. Let's fight for that. Someone else that's fighting is Paz Michael over around the Fugees because he's had another lawsuit. So many lawsuits tonight, guys. So many lawsuits on the money coming out. But he's actually suing Lauryn Hill over this last tour for the Fugees. Now, he's saying that Lauryn Hill was taking a lot of that money and pocketing it herself. So alleges that she grossly mismanaged the setup, marketing, and budgeting for their tour in 2023. He's also saying that she had a devious plan to attempt a big score for herself, his words, when they were actually out there touring because she closed it down early because she wasn't feeling well. And he's saying that was a whole way for her to bank the money and not pay it to the band. Now, she's coming forward saying these are all lies, they're false, they're baseless, unwarranted attacks, but this suit is moving forward and he's trying to get money from her. He's also saying they had that Coachella event. They were going to be paid $5 million to play at Coachella, but she stopped it because No Doubt was the headliner and she thought they should have been. I don't know. Sounds like it's a sticky situation. I guarantee that Fugees are probably done after this, but hopefully if there is some wrongdoing going through, they get their money and they get paid. So goodbye Fugees and not goodbye to Scorsese's because Martin Scorsese said he's not done. He's not retiring. There's all these rumors right now because, again, he put on hold 2 big movies, the Frank Sinatra movie, and he also put on hold his new Jesus Christ movie, which is weird to say about that he was doing a Jesus Christ movie, but The Life of Jesus. And he was going to actually have Andrew Garfield play Jesus in this too. But these are both in the back burner, and Sinatra's supposed to be played by Leonardo DiCaprio, but they're both in the back burner because of funds, he said. So he's hoping to get some funds, and he has the time in his life to make these. But right now he's also shooting an ancient shipwrecks documentary, and that's why he kind of had to push things around waiting for budgets. And there's also some rumors that the Sinatra family are holding this up to stop him from shooting. Hopefully that's not the cause. I want to see this happen. I do want to see it happen. And I want to see Joker 2 really bad, and I did, as we talked about on Friday. A lot of us saw Joker 2. Now, I gotta tell you, I mean, everyone's like, oh, bombed so bad. It did. I mean, look at the United States, $37.8 million bucks. Had a $200 million budget plus marketing and all that. But overseas, people still came out. No one's talking about that. $81.1 million overseas. Not too bad for this. So you're going at $121.1 million. Still not great. And the reviews bombing, the 30% in Rotten Tomatoes, the way people are looking at this. I guess now the studio is trying to blame Todd Phillips, saying they gave him final cut, and that's why it went wrong. They gave him final cut, and they didn't do any kind of any test screening, so it's his fault. I just think the whole project was doomed. Putting the music in there, and again, also saying we want you to sing bad causes problems. A lot of breaking news there, buddy. A lot of breaking news. No love for the Joker. Not at all. Nobody cares, apparently, out there. GR's not caring. Mark doesn't care. Lexi doesn't care.
I do not. I don't want to watch a musical about the Joker. I want to watch a movie about the Joker.
15 songs. 15 songs.
Yeah.
I can't hear you, Lexi.
Yeah,
Lexi, we can't hear you.
Good. I wanted it to be good because the idea was so wild.
Yeah,
but
right?
but apparently it's just not. None of the songs are memorable, apparently. They're not really bringing anything to the table from what I hear. I should speak on it if I've seen it, honestly. And so, I haven't. But
now?
To be fair, I probably never will. So what am I going to do? You know?
I think you should watch it. I think everybody should watch it. I think it is a beautiful looking film. GR's like, I think it's a beautiful looking film, though. It is.
I said I'd watch a musical about the Joker. That's all.
Yeah, I think you should watch it. I think you should. No one wants to see it now. It's like everybody's getting just like bombing it back. People are mad. When I was in the theater, people were groaning when the song was first starting. Like, oh, another song? And I was like, yeah, it's a musical. I'm sorry they didn't market it as a musical. It's just a problem. It's just a big problem. But
it's one of those things where it's just like no one really asked for it. And so it's kind of it's tricky for it to find the people who really want that,
Yeah. Well, we got a lot to talk about. I want you guys to talk about this too. So I'm going to give you all your time in the sun right now shines. So now it's time, everybody, for some hot takes. Come on. All right, now it's time for those hot takes. This is that time for 1 minute on the clock, and all my guests get 1 minute breakdown all the hot takes on all the latest breaking news. And before the minute blows up, just 1 minute. That's all they get. Can they do it? Can they make that time? Will the bomb blow up? And that's it. They have to stop. That's it. The takes are done. But it doesn't matter, because their takes might not be done. But their takes will be great for you, and you choose who wins hot takes. We'll have to wait and see who our hot take master is for this Monday edition of Kruse Control. I'm so excited, as always. Happy Monday, everybody, again. A lot of breaking news, a lot of legalities happening today. So much legal news. I feel like everybody's suing each other after the weekend, and people are mad, and people are going down for some things. Of course, Diddy Watch will be happening for the next year, probably. So we'll be asking the question: did he do it? They do it. They did. Did he do that? For the next year. So, anyways, who's gonna get the hot takes tonight? That's my question. Lexi, help us out. Who do you think should go first for the hot takes?
Oh, it's my time. I get to choose this. Okay.
You get the power.
Is GR one of the people? Is that how this works?
Yeah, GR is in tonight.
All right. Then I'm gonna start with the Thirsty Daddy, just because he's familiar.
Yeah, you feeling good about it, GR?
We'll find out here shortly.
You don't want me to do hot takes, because I kicked y'all ass up and down the screen. That's right. Me. I'm undefeated.
Yeah, okay. Pepe's already getting cocky about this. He's not going to do hot takes for everybody.
When you only do one, you can only win one.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, that's what I tell him all the time, Pepe. Pepe, how's that feel about it, huh? How's that feel?
Ain't nothing wrong with sniffing a little booty.
What? Okay. All right. All right. Literally, right? He's got a good point. All right, GR. Let's get away from Pepe for a while, because I think he's been drinking as always. GR, are you ready for these hot takes? You feeling good?
Yes, sir.
All right, GR. Get smooth, classy, debonair, over the top, over that mountain, back down, land smack down in Europe, and call it a good day. Hot take time. Feeling good?
Yes. Let's do it.
All right. Here we go, GR. All right. Hot takes in 3, 2, 1. Hot takes.
Rings. I hope you get it season 3. Season 2 was so much better than 1. Inside Out 2, I'm glad I get great numbers. It's fun to watch. Despicable Me, I love the series. They're just cute and funny. Make no sense, but that's okay. Smollett, try to completely get burned, asshole. Diddy, lather up, baby. Bye-bye, Diddy. Let's see. Oh, yeah, and we can't forget Kelly. Live with it, asshole. What can you say about an asshole like that? Perry's doctors being guilty and only got 10 years. Can you believe that? Chino scare, I'm glad he made it. Paramount, it's just about money. Who gives a shit? The Fugees, that was a woman trying to rip off her bandmate. Scorsese, glad he's not done. Hope he does one more. Joker 2, the biggest piece of crap I've seen in forever.
GR is not having it, but great hot takes, GR.
Those fireworks just get me.
How's it feel, GR? Does it feel good? Feel good, those hot takes?
Oh, you know it does.
Great hot take.
Fight against them like other two competitors.
Great hot takes, GR. We'll have to see if you become the hot take master tonight. I don't know. It's tough. Barnabas hates animated kids cartoons, man. I don't know. Come on, what's wrong with animated kids cartoons? There's some good stuff out there. You know, there's some good stuff. Give it a chance, Barnabas.
All cartoons are fantastic.
Yeah, come on, Barnabas. Come on, man. Give it a chance. Give it a chance. Great hot takes.
But do you only like adult cartoons?
Maybe that's it. He only likes I like
the more adults, the better.
You must like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles then.
Yeah, but what's even an adult cartoon? Is it like we're talking about like Akira?
It's called hentai, I think, is the proper term.
Oh,
Ichi.
Hentai.
I think that's the official term.
Oh, I mean, I don't know anything about that, but I believe you. I'll go for it.
Oh, I'll send you some links.
Hentai senpai.
Oh boy. I don't know what's happening right now.
Check your inbox.
You're trying to get us canceled, Brian.
I'm looking for a job, and I'm reasonable with the pay. But you gotta throw in some snickety snacks. That's a must.
Come on, man.
That's gotta come in on the back end, buddy.
Okay, Peppy. All right, Lexi, are you ready to do your hot takes, or are you gonna send it over to Mark? How you feeling?
I'll let Mark go last. Let him get a feel for everything. Let the seasoned veteran go first.
All right, Lexi. I know you got this. Let him ease into the hot takes. Who's gonna be the hot take master? Could it be Lexi? Could it be GR? We're gonna find out right now. Lexi, are you ready for these hot takes?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. As always, I know you got this. I believe in you. Hot takes in 3, 2, 1. Get those hot takes.
Rings of Power renewal. Who's watching it? Inside Out 2 killing it. I mean, these Pixar movies are always killing it. When are they not? Of course, it's going to get a third one, but I really think it's disrespectful to Pixar. Despicable Me 4 coming out to the cock. Despicable to the cock, right? R. Kelly appeals feeling. R. Kelly, you're not getting out, bud. Jussie Smollett, you're on a show with already somebody crazier than you. Why you got to be crazy? Diddy lathered up. Come on, Diddy. You're not getting out of jail, bud. Perry's doctor is guilty. We knew that. Pacino's COVID scare. Hoo-wah! I can't smell anything. COVID class action, Paramount class action lawsuit. Yeah, who's not going to sue Paramount? They're fucking up left, right, and center. Scorsese's not retiring. Good. Joker 2 this weekend. Aw, poor incels. And Lauryn Hill suing my band with a lawsuit. Fucking them over for fraud.
Great hot take, Lexi. Great hot takes.
Hearts and fireworks. That's what I want.
Get them all. Great hot takes.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Woo! Happy Monday, everybody. It's going to be a good Monday, that's for sure. All right, great. So far, I guess it's Mark's turn. Mark's the last guy, last one standing on the hot take mountain.
That's right.
Let's go.
It's all you, Mark.
All right, Mark, how you feel? You feeling good about it?
I feel better than R. Kelly, so that's a good start.
I would hope so. I feel like R. Kelly is not feeling anything right now. Well, he's feeling something. Who knows in jail? But
you got a better chance than Diddy.
This list alone shows me that it could be worse. So
it could be worse.
Yeah, so very positive outlook. Just compared to this immediate list, I'm doing pretty great.
I'm feeling good about this, Mark. I'm feeling good for it. I know it's been a while, but you got this. You always got this. So, all right, take a breath. Breathe in, breathe it out. Do you believe in a thing called love? Yes, you do. Here we go. Hot takes in 3, 2, 1. Hot takes.
All right. Let's get to talking about Lauryn Hill first and foremost. Isn't it crazy that I don't give a shit about this because we have fucking Diddy and R. Kelly on the same list? I'm cool with her doing fraud. And in the scope of musicians in trouble right now, fraud's just fine with me as opposed to the other things. Inside Out 2 doing great is cool. I haven't seen it. I like the first one. I do hope they make the third one, but please don't make it a fucking musical. Would be my advice. Rings of Power. I didn't see the first one. I don't. Oh damn! It's already time. Matthew Perry's doctor found guilty. That's crazy. As a huge Matthew Perry fan, is it weird that I'm glad it was murder and not because it's like less sad? It's like, oh, okay, something was suspect. It was sadder if he like killed himself or something. So it's crazy that there's something foul play, and it's good that he's been caught. Scorsese not retiring. Well, good. I didn't know he was. I just thought he would just end up dying at some point. Let him keep making movies.
Woo! Well, Mark, I'm still giving you some fireworks. Great hot takes, Mark. Woo! Yeah, the whole Scorsese thing was like, you know, because everyone was like speculating he's gonna retire now because of everything that's like all of his movies are getting pushed and postponed, and so everyone's like, is he retiring? And then he came forward and was like, I'm not retiring, guys.
I mean, we just had Coppola drop a movie, and he hasn't done something in like 15 years or something, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like Coppola's, if he can keep going, why would not Scorsese keep going too? You know?
Yeah, do it till you can't. Unlike, you know, Tarantino's going to retire, and I don't think that's cool, but you know, whatever.
Yeah, I don't get that too. It's like, oh, I got 10 movies and that's it. It's like, you know, something might come along and be fantastic you want to do. Don't say that about anything. I think when artists say that, it's just BS. You know, always like, who's retiring today? I'll be back in 2 months. You know,
it's like, dog, you're not an athlete. Like, it's not like the body just doesn't have it anymore. It's like you're directing. You know, it's a creative thing. I feel like there's no real reason to stop unless creatively.
Cut. Yeah. Action. Real tough job.
Which part? Action.
Anything with directing.
Well, but I mean, I'll take that over most jobs.
Can I defend musicals for a second?
Oh yeah, you should. Oh, 1 second, I'll let you defend musicals.
I love good musicals.
I put the poll out there. Let us know who you think should win hot takes. Vote it up. Lexi, what do you guys say about some musicals? Would defend the musical world?
It's like the whole chat's like, I hate musicals, and like last time we did this, I wish you guys had this conversation in the chat, was like hard about musicals. I'm like, musicals are great, and I'm like, I've been in musical theater most of my life. It's a big part of my life. You know,
so you're
I don't
biased.
necessarily know. I'm not biased, but it's.
I know, I'm messing with you.
It's not. I don't know if okay, the first Joker film, making the second Joker film a musical. I don't know if that was the route to go, and I know you were going to alienate the fan base of the first Joker film because the fan base of the first Joker film was a very particular fan base. It wasn't what you were going to expect for that, but. Like as far as musicals are concerned, and like there was like I heard like some people were like, you know, bashing on like In the Heights. In the Heights came out during COVID, like it didn't have a chance. The one that the remake of West Side Story did very well, and it was a beautifully done remake of West Side Story. I mean, it was like hands down one of the best.
Right?
Yeah, Spielberg's remake of that was excellent. I mean, as far as like the more recent stuff, Wicked's coming out. Wicked was I just saw that in the theater. It was excellent, and I think it's going to kill. I mean, that's going to be one of the big ones. That was huge in 2010 when it came out, the music for that. I mean, look at Glee. Glee was constantly pulling music from that and everything else. And I mean, I know, like, it's not everyone's cup of tea, but, like, neither is the Joker, right?
100% true. I think musicals are great.
It's just like, and I didn't mean to cut you off there, but, like, I just think it's like, you know, it's cyclical. It's like, I think, like, a certain amount of people are like, oh, I want this and I want that. But I think it's like, when you're looking at your thing crossing into another territory, like, okay, they took your thing and they pushed it with my thing, right? So I like musicals and you like superhero stuff, right? So they made a superhero musical. And why do I want a superhero musical? I don't really want a Joker musical, but as a fan of musicals, I'm going to look at it, right? But as a fan of Joker, you're only looking at it for the Joker, and then you're mad that it's a musical. So I feel like,
and they didn't advertise it as a musical. That's a problem too. They didn't advertise it at all. They were like, "Oh, it's even Todd Phillips couldn't say it in interviews."
I think as soon as people kind of heard, I think people hated the idea from like a year ago when they heard about it. So they're probably trying to hold that back and not have other people know that it was.
The director of it said when he was making the second film, it was a musical. The day he said he was making. Mm-hmm. And he said when he was casting Lady Gaga in it that it was going to be a musical. This guy's been saying this is going to be a musical. So it's like, I don't know. He
also said it wasn't, though. He also, before it came out, he did a whole interview, Lexa, where he was like, it's not per se a musical. Who's saying it's a musical? Like right before it came out. And I was like, what? I'm like, wasn't this a whole thing? We were musical, big part of it, And he's like, it's not really a musical. And it's like, because why? Because the songs don't add to the narrative. They're like a separate thing. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the issue, though, right? From what I hear from people who've seen it, and they're all people who like musicals. Everyone likes a musical if it's like good, if it's like the songs are good and captured and like captivating. But sometimes what a musical is supposed to do is be like storytelling. It's revealing something about a character. It's like actually walking you through a scene. It's basically a big scene that's sung. And apparently these songs are kind of like nothing burgers. They're not really changing any narratives. They're just kind of flat surface level songs that don't have any don't resonate with anybody. So it's like apparently they're bad songs too, is what I hear.
Yeah. I mean, I just think they don't add anything to the narrative. Like when I saw it too, I just felt like they took me out of it. And then we're like, oh, we're getting back to the Joker movie. Oh, there's a song. Oh, let's get back to the Joker movie. So it just felt like it was like a sidestep a lot for me. And then the fact that Todd Phillips was also telling them to sing bad during it, which is also a weird choice. Like, why are you telling them to sing bad? I don't understand that. But
why would you cast a great musician and tell her to sing terrible?
I mean, Joaquin can sing too. He did Johnny Cash and stuff.
I know, and he was. I was shocked. I'm like, because after seeing him Johnny Cash, I'm like, oh, he's got this. And then I was like, oh, maybe he doesn't have this. That movie is just. Honestly, I thought it was a beautiful movie, but I think overall people are going to be trash talking. Let's not trash talk musicals, though. Let's not do that. I think musicals have so
good as was said by our guests. If you got a good song and good music related to the movie, you've got something.
Dude,
right.
I was jamming The Greatest Show like yesterday. Like, yeah, I love catchy, really captivating songs for musicals.
Yeah, I think it goes along.
Look at Bob's Burgers for an example. Like Bob's Burgers, almost every other episode has a musical or musical-like theming in it, and I think a lot of animation is a good example of things that really utilize musical elements well. And I think people often don't think about animate unless they with the exceptions of Disney's or things like that. But I think animation has had a relationship with musical content for so long that it's almost par for the course when people sing in musicals and stuff. So I think maybe if things are less animated and they're more live action, and things go that route, it feels a little less feels more detached. I don't know, but
yeah, it's such a great medium for to do a song because it's all you're animating it, so you can put them on space, they can sing, and everything you can just kind of make up as you go.
I can see a lot of potential in the Joker being musical. He's very whimsical, he's very fun, he's very lively of a character, and with Harley Quinn there, I think there's a lot of potential for a lot of fun and musical elements in that, especially if you look at Harley Quinn's animated series. They've had musical episodes of that. So there's plenty.
It does make sense.
I just think, and then of course Spider-Man had a musical, but that was a bomb, right? That was a massive failure. So I mean, it's not like people haven't attempted things like this before in the past. I just think it's more that the way that the first Joker film was done, it wasn't done the Joker. It was done Taxi Cab. And I think that people came in expecting a sequel to Taxi Cab with a Joker overlay. And what they got was a musical. And what you're looking at is more a film that really catered to, and I hate saying this, but it did cater to incel culture. And so it really pumped up that kind of people and those kind of people, and they really got hyped. And so they were going in, those people were really upset. And I think half the fan base is that, and half the fan base are people who are just genuinely upset as a whole.
And I think also it's because he's not really Joker in this. That's the problem. People are upset. Right. Not to cut you off too, JR. It's not really. It's not even Joker movie. He doubles down. This is not Joker. Yes, Joker's there, but his character is really not the Joker. And I think people are mad about that. On top of the music, there's a lot of things going against it from the first movie to this one. I think,
from what I hear, I kind of like that idea.
Excuse me, just a second. Bottom line is the music in this movie had nothing to do with the fucking movie.
I hear that too.
That's fair too. And I might watch this and end up seeing this and this is a giant piece of shit. Like I might be 100% on it. I haven't seen it, and so I can't make an opinion on it as a whole. So that's where I'm at with everybody else. But I don't hate the concept behind it, at least anyway.
Yeah,
but,
me neither.
But the thing is, though, people are just trashing 30% Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, honestly, the numbers just keep going down. But it's still 121 million, not bad.
Don't hate the idea of the first Joker film, him not being the Joker, and that the second Joker film, you find out that he's not, and that leads into the actual Joker. Because there has been people in the comics in the past who have claimed to be the Joker and are not, right? There's been plenty of people.
It's the whole tale of him,
100%. Nobody really knows who the Joker is, including the Joker himself, because the Joker won't admit to who he is. He lies. That's the big thing about him. He's a narcissist and he lies about who he is. He will never tell you.
He's dead now, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, he loves to lie. Before we find out our hot take master here, Mark, you haven't been here for the Diddy situation. You think Diddy's done? What do you think has happened with? Do you think Diddy's
the alliteration of that? Yeah, I think Diddy's done. I do think, unless he changes his name a fourth time, that's his only chance of getting out of this. Yeah, man. It's actually what's more interesting is who's going to go down with him. It's apparently, it's not a solo act. A lot of people satelliting around him. Is this going to be a thing where we get some other big names coming very soon? And then also, is there going to be some sort of Epstein-ish type? What if Diddy is found dead, and is it mysterious? You know what I mean? It's interesting seeing what something on this high level, happening in real time, how it's going to work out.
That's a big worry too. I think that's why they're saying he's worried that someone's going to poison him, or someone's going to try to kill him, and they have him in a suicide watch, everything else. You never know.
I'd say you better check your baby oil, buddy.
You check that baby oil.
But smart.
But great hot have the winner right now from the hot takes. Woo! So we do have a hot take master for this Monday, October 7th, 2024. All right, let's find out who won hot takes. Everybody. The winner of hot takes for this Monday edition of Kruse Control is Lexi Koval. Lexi, congratulations!
Obviously.
Sing a song.
Also, Cal, I used to be in a Rocky cast, so I used to have to do the time warp 2 Saturdays every month.
What about every month for what?
The Rocky Horror Picture Show. The cast, the chat's talking about Rocky Horror Picture Show. So that's actually where I met Rachel.
That's a great musical. It's a great musical too.
It's
interesting.
Musical. It's one of my favorites. So
it's you got to be creative with this. You got to have fun with it.
I first got into. I used to try to make my high school do it though, and I see why they wouldn't let me.
I love musical. Screw them. I love musicals though, and I think that this was intriguing to me, but unfortunately, it's getting trash talk. So sorry, Joker. The joke's on you, I guess, too. But there's a lot more going on, everybody. Of course, on Kruse Control. Appreciate you getting great hot takes. Thank you all for voting today. Appreciate you as always. But speaking of musicals, there is another musical moving forward from Trey Parker and Matt Stone with Kendrick Lamar. What? Can we talk about this?
Yes.
So everybody, there's no name for this yet. There's no name for this musical, but this is the most interesting concept I've heard for a musical here. But we got, Trey Parker, Matt Stone, known from South Park, of course, the Book of Mormon, very controversial topic. They made it into a musical and did big. You know, they tried it with South Park movies again. They're very controversial. They've done big. But I would relate this more to Book of Mormon, because you're going on a subject that people are like, you know, Mormon life and the whole religion, and you're kind of bringing light to the world about it, but you're also kind of making fun of it. But the way they do it, it works, and it does very well. Well, this new movie they're working on right now, which they just started shooting with Kendrick Lamar, there's no name for it yet, but it's now this is, I mean, honestly, when I read the premise for this, I'm going to tell you right now. So they depict the past and present coming to a head when a young black man who was interning as a slave reenactor at a living history museum discovers that his white girlfriend's ancestors once owned his. All right, so it's a slavery comedy musical. So now we're touching on slavery for Trey Parker and Matt Stone, and it's not confirmed, but apparently they keep saying it's musical coming forward. It's rumored to be musical. Now the head of Paramount came forward, Brian Robbins, and CEO said it's one of the funniest and most original scripts they've ever read, and it's starting to create some fireworks at CinemaCon earlier this coming year. So they're talking about being super excited about. People are going nuts about Team America. They're a great one, Queen, but they did a lot of great musicals and a lot of great numbers, and Kendrick Lamar has never been acting before, so his film debut here too, working with some big comedy directors. It sounds fascinating to me. I'm also worried about people like a backlash, so I could see, you know, because again, I imagine there's a massive backlash for Book of Mormon too. You think there'll be a big backlash for this, Lexi? Because again, you're touching on, you know, the slavery issue. That's always it's a touchy subject. Like, how are they going to deal with this? How can they make this a comedy? I just don't know. How do you feel about it, Lexi?
From what I understand, I thought the movie was called Slave Movie.
That was a rumor, but they said it's not titled yet. That was like the temporary name.
Okay. I think that he picked the right two white guys to go to do this. Like, they're going to be able to be as disrespectful and respectful with the subject matter as they can be. Do you know what I mean by that statement? Like, South Park does everything they can to be as disrespectful and respectful as they can. Like, they cross every line while also being as respectful as humanly possible. Like, I would never be offended by anything on South Park, and South Park crosses every possible line that it can. And always. You know, there are plenty of communities out there that South Park could have a problem with South Park. And when they initially started, obviously, you know, mothers had an issue, and there was a lot of like that. And I'm using South Park, the history of it, as an example, because that's just like, you got to look at their track record. They've earned the ability to cross lines. And so if Kendrick Lamar wants to cross lines, he picked the right people to go to cross lines. Do you know what I'm saying with that statement?
Oh yeah, because they always, like I said, Book of Mormon, they have no trouble crossing lines. Right,
but not just that. Like, with the subject matter that they talk about on South Park and everything as well. So, with that in mind, I also think that if they want to do anything musical, I mean, we've got a Pulitzer Prize winning rapper, and we have two, you know, award winning musical writers, and two of the greatest like comedy writers probably to ever live. So it's
definitely a dynamic team.
This is the opposite of when Seth MacFarlane wanted to do 50 Ways to Die in the West.
Oh, that was a horrible movie. Oh my god.
Right. So this will be like the opposite of that, like funny and enjoyable, and all that tongue-in-cheek humor will actually make sense. So it'll be the opposite. You know what I mean?
I hope so.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I can't see this doing anything but killing, honestly. Like, and I mean, like, maybe it won't make huge money, and obviously it's gonna, you know, touch nerves. But that's the whole point of it, is it's supposed to touch nerves, and it's gonna touch nerves in the same way that Get Out did.
But it also could cause a lot of waves. Mark, what do you think, man? Do you think this could cause massive waves, or is a backlash for this? I don't think it'll really affect Trey Parker or Matt Stone's career, or I don't think it's going to affect anybody's career. But do you think there'd be a backlash from fans?
No.
Wait.
I think it's going to do well. There is, like, they can make bad stuff too, so I hope it doesn't bomb, but I feel like it's already just going to make money because the concept is great. The talent associated with it is great. These are all huge solid fandoms coming together, and the premise already sounds funny. Yeah, I love it. And Kendrick Lamar can actually act
Lamar's freaking
surprisingly
awesome.
well. He was in an episode in Atlanta, and then also in another episode of I forgot which show, but he has he has more range than you think, and it just sounds like. Also, he's such a he's worked in collaboration and stuff before, compositions and stuff. So he's a great person just to work with while writing as well.
You think he's gonna bring music? I bet he brings a lot of touch to the music too. I would think, right? You think that Kendrick Lamar, he's probably gonna help with the music? That would make sense. I would think so, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, he can do that. He collabs with writers all the time. I mean, even Black Panther and stuff. He essentially collaborated with the writer of that entire soundtrack. He was in charge of the soundtrack essentially.
That's awesome. I mean, it's just fascinating though. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. A little hiccupy, but you're here. Yeah, it's just so. I think it's a very fascinating premise. I was just shocked that this is like.
Love the premise. It's so funny.
Especially like nowadays, it's like people have been like so like touchy about things and stuff. Maybe we need something to laugh at. Like maybe this will make make this aware, but also make something to have fun with a little bit. GR, what do you think? Do you think that there's going to be any kind of issues with this? Everyone's saying right now they're excited about it. It'll probably be a great project, probably make money right off the bat because of what the situation is. GR, is this a big blockbuster hit?
No. I don't agree. The writers are not the greatest comedy writers of all time. I'm not even close. They are.
Jared is not like them.
They are not the world's greatest comedy writers ever. I'm sorry. This thing has two chances.
I don't think anyone said they were, though.
It's going to be a small hit or it's going to be a total bomb. But it could alienate a whole lot of people. I don't think there's anything funny about the subject of slavery. Anything.
Yeah. Did you see Book of Mormon at all, GR?
Yeah, it sucked.
Oh, I loved it.
I actually loved it too. I was shocked how good I thought it was. I thought it was going to be like. I was like, how's this going to work? I mean, there was a South Park episode where they had about all of, Mormonism and stuff too, which was great, but it was also very touchy. If you were Mormon, like, I would like, what do you think about this? But they're good about that. I think you haven't made it until South Park's made fun of you. Yeah. Right. But even everybody they go after, I think they made fun of Kendrick Lamar before, I think on there too. They made fun of everybody on South Park. They just do that, which
Paris Hilton loves the episode about her.
Yeah, that was great. She's like, that's so hot. Then like the Lemmy winks and stuff.
Disgustingly offensive. Like the Paris Hilton episode was really offensive. So like the fact that she loves that shit, they didn't think that Kanye was gonna take it the way he did. I watched the whole thing about that recently. Like they knew it would a little bit, but they were like, oh man, they didn't know it was gonna go that far. So that's why they just kept going with it.
Right. Queen makes a good point too. Comedies don't usually make bank. That's always a thing. But yeah, they just keep going with it. And I'm surprised. Like, look at Tom Cruise episode too. They had that. He had that band. He had it taken down. So you can't even find that episode anymore because he's like, no, I don't like this. Now it's Scientology stuff. So they can cross lines.
The best episodes of South Park ever.
It was so good. R. Kelly's in that shit too, right?
Now I'm here in the closet.
They did, trapped in the closet. Oh wait, same thing.
Yeah, and R. Kelly's pulling out the gun. He's like, pull my gun. And R. Kelly, stay in jail, man. Stay in jail.
You will.
Yeah, I don't think he's getting out.
Though, and basketball are like two like the funniest movies ever, right? And I mean, I wasn't big into basketball, but Orgasmo is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. And like,
I love Orgasmo.
Basketball killed in the box office for them. They made money on that made its money back, and that really like cemented their ability to make like movies for them. Like that showed their ability outside of South Park. So that's why they're able to constantly like kind of dip their toes in the pool, so to speak, like of making films every once in a while. They don't do it too often, but like they can.
Yeah, I just love Orgasmo.
Yeah,
like,
apparently
Orgasmo is an underrated classic, and if you've never seen it, I highly recommend go check it out. It's one of the funniest movies I've ever seen.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Mark?
That's what I was gonna say. Where there's a chance it could be bad because Orgasmo was a huge bomb, and so there is like a bit of a dice roll. Even though it's a comedy classic, if it doesn't make the money, you know what I mean. It still could be like a considered a misfire. Like a lot of classic comedies kind of don't do well, and then
it's kind of like
they get their flowers years later. Yeah.
The thing was a box office bomb
so,
too.
yeah.
People love that movie now. It's hailed as one of the greatest
I
sci-fi
already
like
think that
You never know. I feel like
yeah,
movies just keep bombing too lately. I like with freaking Joker. You think that was gonna be like a big hit, and it just freaking nothing done. And I bet next week it'll be a bigger drop. So it's always there's always a risk these days of going to movie theaters. But I think that we gotta keep making good stuff.
It's like look at the way that movies were put into theaters when we were growing up. I didn't mean to cut you off there, but like the way that they were put into theaters when you were growing up, they had like at least a good month and a half of runtime. They're going, oh, it was in there for like a week and a weekend. Oh, it was a bomb. Like, how was it a bomb? It was like it was out for like a day, and you're like, I was a bomb. I'm like, okay, well, you didn't advertise it. I didn't know anything about it, which we're always talking about how they don't advertise anything. So I don't see any ads. I don't know where anything is. I don't know how anything's coming out. And then you go, oh my God, it was a bomb. And I'm like, was it a bomb because you wanted it to be a bomb? Because I didn't know about it. And I'm like, and then you put it in the theater for like 3 days, and then, oh, nobody went and saw it. And I'm like, yeah, because you put it out for like 3 fucking days. I didn't get to see it. Like,
didn't even give it a freaking chance to actually thrive, and you know what I mean? And that's why
they can't make these numbers with the functionality of the pricing system, the way they want people to go, the amount of time they're putting things into the theater. Like, everything is not working right anymore. It's like there isn't a cyclical system that's functioning with Hollywood, with the release of things, the way that they want things out, the money they're putting out to get people to go to them, the money that is like I know I talk about like weird things like the McDonald's. Like, why are you making YouTuber meals? Like, why are you putting out a meal with KSI when you could be putting out a meal for Borderlands? And I would have known that Borderlands had a movie that came out, and then I would have went and saw Borderlands more likely than if you had put a meal out with Cardi B or any of these other people. And they're like, well, these meals are killing it. And I'm like, well, first of all, the meals aren't even special. And second of all, like, the fact that you're not promoting through restaurants anymore is a huge, like, lack of tie-in to show me that things are coming out into theaters. Those tie-ins to those restaurants were massive abilities to find out when things are coming out, period.
I remember I used to have like for Batman Forever, they had the mugs at McDonald's, like the Riddler mug and the Batman mug. And it was like, I want to collect them all. Yeah. I think I have them still in my parents' attic someplace, but they're cool. They had a lot of cool different toys to tie in. It was like, I go there for that, and they'd have the same thing.
You when something's out. It's like, oh, there's a new Batman movie. There's a bunch of toys at McDonald's. Oh, this movie's coming out. This looks interesting. There's a bunch of toys at McDonald's, or Taco Bell has a meal for kids, or who the fuck ever. Like, remember, we all know about. We still talk about, Demolition Man to this day because of the Taco Bell tie-in.
Oh, yeah. That was great. That was freaking great. It was like the last fast chain restaurant that lived through the whole thing, right? It was the last one.
Unless you're in Europe, in which it was a Pizza Hut. That one too. That's really funny.
It's pretty good. Cool. That's pretty good. Well, I gotta say though, hopefully do more advertising like that. Movies will bomb just because of this, because they're not even giving it a chance, like you're saying, Lexi. They spent a lot of money on Joker here. Hopefully they spend the amount of money to make it good. But something like this, comedies, they won't do a lot of advertising for this. But you're right, things will just bomb. They're gonna bomb. But it's also comes down to these big budgets they spend for things too. Look what's happening with, again, the Brave New World, the whole Captain America movie right now, because that one right now they're saying is in a bomb. They did some test screenings, but they already had massive reshoots. But I want to talk about that too. That's a bigger conversation about bombing in our comic corner. Come on. And this is where this all kind of ties in, because this movie right here, Captain America, Brave New World right now, 6 years after we had Steve Rogers step down, they greenlit this a long time ago. We had 3 rounds of three big battle reshoots, like spending hundreds of millions of dollars on this. I mean, they spent $350 million in this project right now. That's insane. $350 million on Captain America, Brave New World because of all the reshoots. Unlike Joker, where they didn't do reshoots, maybe they shouldn't have reshoots, maybe they should have, but Marvel builds all this stuff in. And then they say, well, it's a bomb. Well, you got to meet $350 million, and they don't want to spend $100 million on advertising. Now you got $450 million. Hey, $500 million just to make your money back. Like, you're going to doom yourself into bombing. This is coming out February 14th, but they actually had a bunch of test screenings for this, and people are just saying, like, it's inessential, it's flat. People are like walking out bored. They had 2 different movie showings. People got like either a red wristband or a green wristband to go see 2 different cuts, who they like best. And people were walking out being like, this just sucks. There's no point to this. Again, the whole Red Hulk thing apparently is only in the very end. And there's a lot of this stuff where it's just like they spend so much money integrating new characters and trying to make it work. And it's like at the end of the day, they can't even spend money on advertising, Lexi. They can't even do it because they spent $350 million. And now they're already saying off the get-go, it's going to bomb. It's going to bomb. And it's like, it's coming out in February, so let's be real. It's coming out like for Valentine's Day. No one's going to see Brave New World on Valentine's Day. I just don't see it happening.
But has Red Hulk. Isn't that for Valentine's Day?
I'll take you.
Okay, Mark, can you take me?
I'll take you, Brian. Let's go.
Let's go. Hey, man, I'm single. I need a date. So, Mark, you think about this? Do you think that this is just can you see people going out to see this movie actually? Or do you think this is just what's been happening with the industry a lot where it's like we're spending too much money and so it's almost hard to get the return on investment?
So, yeah, it's kind of that, right? And then not only that, just superhero fatigue in general. People aren't spending money as much anymore. So I could see it technically not making money, but I don't see it actually like bombing. I see it might not make its profit back, or it might do okay or mid, like a lot of Marvel movies. Kind of like the Marvels. Like the Marvels didn't do that bad. It just underperformed for its budget. So it technically was classified as like an L. I think this is probably going to be like that.
Yeah, well, that's the problem too. That was like almost. I think that was in the 300 millions too for the Marvels between their reshoots as well.
Yeah, they made a lot of money, but they just didn't make a lot of profit.
It just makes it almost impossible, and that's why I understand like why they keep hemorrhaging these budgets. No, they should just work with the script from the get-go. You do a lot of writing too, Mark, right? So it's like, don't you think that the problem comes down to the actual words on the page?
Yeah, and then also they're riding the train of they want people to care about the established Marvel universe, but what people don't care about is like a lot of these characters are essentially side characters in their lives. A lot of people don't care about, Falcon's character. A lot of people don't care about like Black Widow's sister. Like these aren't like the leading roles that people started off with. They don't they're all great actors, but I don't see them as actually having like any sense of like draw. So it's like we're watching C or B characters carry a movie, and then the only thing that really has going for it is the movies we watched before it to continue the story. And I don't think that's like a good formula for success. I think they should be able to stand on their own.
They should. If the characters aren't that alluring, they're already in a hole by $350 million. It's like you already know your returns is not going to be that great as it is. So then, we're going to throw this word bomb around there more and more and more. And then they're not going to spend any more money on advertising. It does suck they use all these like, because we lost Tony Stark, because we lost, we were changing the whole Avengers dynamic. We have to find these young characters, but like you can still make people intriguing and interesting, and people make money. Well, I mean, come on, it's writing. Just write good characters, and people will come to see it. And don't spend $350 million on one movie. GR, don't do it, right, GR? Do you think that this has a chance to survive at all at that kind of like price tag? Or do you see this being a bomb if people are saying that there's no point to it?
Yeah, I go with Mark. I think it'll do all right, but I'm sorry, that's not Captain America. That's Falcon. That's not Captain America. He can carry the shield and wear the uniform, but he is not Captain America. Steve Rogers is Captain America.
You think that's what's been hurting this franchise the whole time, GR?
Well, I mean, Mark said best. Extra characters can't carry a movie.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to do here.
They got Harrison Ford, though, GR, in this. We got Harrison Ford.
He's a fucking president. He's in the movie for a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
The Falcon is there, not Captain America.
Yeah, it's true. I just don't see this doing as well. Again, I just think it's a money thing, and I think you're right. People want to see Captain America. I like Anthony Mackie though, Lexi. I like him. I just think he's done a lot of great roles, right? A lot of great roles. Like especially lately, I feel like he's blowing up more and more. But do you think that it's a problem with his, like GR saying, like his acting, like his character, or do you think it comes down to the big balloon budgets?
I mean. Do you remember when King Kong and Superman Returns came out, and they had a budget of like 330 million and 322 million, and they were like, these are the most expensive films ever made in the history of film. And now the average that we dump on a film is 350 million, and then we wonder why these things like bomb and don't make their money back and stuff. It's like, I mean, that was considered such grand expense back in like 2002, 2003. And I mean, I know it was like 20 years ago, but like, really not that far away when you think about like what we were spending for budgets like back in like the 80s and 90s and stuff for films, and like the fact that we had like the ability to make like $1 million films and like, you know, $5 million films and $10 million films.
It didn't cost us $50 to go to the movies either.
No, and it didn't cost us $25 to, you know, go on a weekday for a matinee. A matinee used to cost me $3.50. As a kid, I used to go to movies all the time with change in my pocket. Like, I mean, that's the thing. I was an avid moviegoer. I stopped going to the movies when they started jacking prices through the roof. And on top of that, with streaming and everything else, like I couldn't afford it. I couldn't afford it in college. And I'm going to say straight up, I pirated movies all the time in college because I couldn't afford to go when they started raising prices more and more and more. It became expensive for me. So it's just like, you know, it's
way
like
too expensive.
On top of that, well, and then the thing on top of that, like on the piracy thing, not to go off subject, but like I was showing you that thing that I showed you where they're telling you that you're leasing stuff now, like you're just leasing a license instead of owning it with all the streaming stuff. Forget it, just pirate it at that point. If you're not owning something, if you don't own anything, and you are literally
we do not condone pirating on Kruse Control.
Or the right, no, like, you know what I'm saying though with that? Like, if you're just paying for the right to license something, then you're not even owning it. Like, I don't see the point in paying for anything at that point. I'm not paying to license something. Go fuck yourself. I'm not a fucking studio trying to sell things. I'm not looking for licensing rights here. So I'm looking to buy something to watch on my DVD player at home, for fuck's sakes. This is ridiculous. What a world we live in. So it's just like $350 million movies, licensing the movies to watch at home, you know, $500,000 for Avatar. This is dumb. Nobody
it's
wants
so
that.
much waste of money. It's a waste of money.
Movies, but I'm like, you know, what's his name? Jordan. I was talking about all the time. And then Jordan Peele goes out and makes a movie for like, you know, less than $10 million, and it kills in the box office, and they make the revenue back. The movie that has made the most money for cost to revenue is the Blair Witch Project, because they only invested $100,000 into that film and then made over $200 million on the returns on it.
Massive. That's a massive return.
Where's your money? Where's your money? If you're only spending chump change on things and you're putting out like, you know, whatever, like, then your returns are better. So to put all this kind of money into things that people are just like, they're already like burned out on all the Marvel stuff. They're already burned out on this shows. I will say that I think that the Captain America show that had the Winter Soldier that introduced us to him as Captain America, it's a good show. I thought it was good. I think Anthony Mackie is a phenomenal actor. I have seen him in other roles. I've seen him in other films. I think he is an incredible talent. I think he deserves all the opportunities. I want to see him do more dramatic acting. His dramatic acting is fantastic. Do you ever see that movie where they have like a drug that's like spice that you smoke and you end up time traveling for 5 minutes in a spot? Anthony Mackie's the star of that film. I had to watch it for my podcast one time. One of the best films I've ever seen. I would have never heard of it if my show hadn't told me to watch it. But like,
that's fascinating.
Oh my God, it was amazing. And he was great in it. And I'm just like, I've seen him do a lot of indie films and a lot of indie roles, and I'm like, I really feel like his career got hurt by entering the Marvel universe in so many ways, because he was never a primary. He was always a secondary character. And then they wanted to kind of slide him into a main role, but he was never built for that. So it's just like, I don't know. And
that's in writing too. It's in the writing. He never was. He was always a side character for a long time. And it's like, now you're making Cap. Everybody wanted Bucky to be Cap.
Character. Hawk was so good. He's good as Hawk. So I don't know. It just feels like you're taking something away from the fans anyway, because he was so good as Hawk. So why take Hawk away? But also, like, was this what was necessary with Captain America? Couldn't we have just retired the standard issue original Avengers and moved on to the new Avengers and moved on to a new team or moved on to whatever? I don't know. I don't know what the answers are to any of this stuff. I think like the answer is that you stagnated your project by having so much of it for 20 years and that you don't know what to do with it anymore. And that the only people who are left to watch this and be interested are fans. And you have to really be dedicated to this, like as a comic. Like Sean is who this is for. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sean is. This is
Obviously,
definitely for Sean.
David Banner is a fan of this in the chat. Like people who read these comics and have been following this stuff for years are ecstatic about the fact that their content has gone this far. To see anything that you love be taken with lots of money and care and taken that far, it's very exciting. I can say that about anything, whether you're a fan of Harry Potter or this or anything that they have invested.
Great for fans.
8 or more films into and have had budgets of more than $200,000 on each film and have had phenomenal actors behind each one. That's fantastic. We never saw that when we were kids growing up. Never got that in the 80s. Never got that in the 90s. You were lucky to get one of them fuckers, and if it bombed, you were like out the back door. You ain't seen that shit for another 20 years. Like,
nope.
The fact that
things
bomb nowadays and they still invest in them, I don't even know how they do that, quite frankly. I'm like, I see things bomb all the time. They're like, we're getting a sequel. I'm like, Venom? Venom should not have had 3 movies. I'm like,
I love Venom.
Me?
I love the Venom movies. I'm excited for 3.
Your opinion, though.
But I'm saying, like, but I saw the numbers didn't show me that there was a need for more of them. Like, I heard all kinds of bad things about it. Whether you liked it or not,
they're best still at Sony. That's why.
That's exactly, like, it's just like there was enough hands in the pot to keep them going. It wasn't about my thoughts or opinions on the character. It was an opinion. It was about the numbers that I read. The numbers showed me that this shouldn't have had a sequel. That's what I'm saying. When I make these statements, it's not about my opinions. It's that I'm looking at numbers, and the numbers show me that these things shouldn't keep going. When you have, like when we were talking about directors that fail, there's so many directors that fail nowadays and keep getting films. I don't understand it. Like, I don't understand it. Like, there's too many things like that people
like
have.
Todd Phillips now. It's like people are giving another movie probably tomorrow.
It's like he's like, you know yourself, back in like the early 90s, late 80s, if you had one bomb under your look at I talk about him all the time. Look at John Carpenter. John Carpenter. People don't realize that The Thing destroyed his career. He became an independent filmmaker. Like, all the films that he put out after The Thing, he did independently. He had to do that himself. He's lucky that he had the career that he had because he made it himself. But, like, he's respected as an underground artist, and he's very bitter, and he's very angry at the fact that he lost all of his opportunities because The Thing destroyed his career. That happened a lot for people.
It happens all the time.
All the time.
Happens. I want to say fast, we lost Mark. Mark had a stand-up show he had to go to. I wanted to say bye to him, but he's bounced. So Mark is gone for the rest of the show.
Mark was great. I liked him.
Love having Mark, everybody. Round of applause for Mark, for I lost Mark. Yeah, I'll see you soon. I would say this though too, Lexi. I know we've talked about like the marketing and the advertising though too. When it comes to numbers, like that stuff's gonna go to the wayside because if you have a movie, and again, like we said, 350. It's like I know Marvel's gonna spend another $100 million on this movie.
I've never heard of this. I've never heard of this. You're talking about it tonight, and I'm like, a brand new Captain America. I'm like, I watch your show.
Yep. The trailer came out a long time
ago. That sounds like a weird way to go, but like at this point, your show is like a good information source to find out what these movies coming out. And I haven't even heard you guys talk about this.
I know we talked about one time when the first trailer came out, and I was like, "Oh, this does not look good." And and we knew there was problems too. Again, they reshot like I think it was like 60% of the movie, something like that, something crazy. And there was 3 big battle scenes that reshot, and it's went to Atlanta and shot him again. And when that happens, there's problems. And this writer is going on to do other stuff for DC, and I'm like, this one already has bad problems. Why is DC picking this guy up for something? I don't get that. But I'd be like, oh, you did Brave New World. I don't want anything to do with you, man. I've seen the inside stuff about this movie. That people are seeing it and it's getting the negative reviews. I'm just like, wow, this movie, nobody should touch anybody that's been involved in this movie. They shouldn't. And Giancarlo Esposito came in too last minute. They added his character. He's like one of the main villains. They added him after they're doing reshoots and put him throughout the whole movie. Like, this is problems. There's problems with writing. This is problems with budget. This is problems with everything. And this is where Marvel's been. I know GR and I will go see it though. So, all right, GR, Brave New World, you want to go see it?
Oh, hell, why not?
They need to give the fans what they want. The Alien versus Marvel film.
Oh, I want to see it. I want to see it. We talked about that a few weeks ago. I think that'd be awesome. And have the freaking Predators in there too. Come
Miles
on.
Morales face hugger suit. I'm here for it.
They could do it in Spider-Man 4 because Spider-Man 4 might integrate Null with all the symbiote aliens. Why not we bring in the xenomorphs too? It only makes sense. All the aliens in one movie, they all crash down on Earth and fight the Avengers. Come on, guys. Where is this movie?
This is what we
GR,
want.
that's not jumping the ship. Come on, GR, that's not jumping the shark, right?
No, not at all. That makes complete sense.
I want to see it. I really want to see it.
Queens. 4 alien queens? Come on.
Come on. I'd be excited about that. I'm not excited about this, guys. I don't want to call it shit yet, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be good. And I want to like support the art and support Marvel, and we do the comic corner because we support geeky stuff like this and we love it. But I'm just like, do better by the fans. Just do better. Like the Joker 2. That was like more of an insult to the fans, and then doing, because the fans wanted to see Joker become Joker. We had the lead up to it, and then you're like, oh wait, we're not gonna do that. Oh, we're gonna not give you what you want. Oh, we're gonna do a whole different movie that's not what made the first one popular. Oh, okay. And then people are gonna walk out of the theater. That's what's gonna happen. And I liked Joker. I like Joker though. I did like Joker too. I thought it was a beautiful movie. Beautiful movie. Pacing was a little bit slow for me, but I think it was a beautiful movie, and I think they could have cut like easily five songs, maybe it'll work better. But then again, I think it's a waste of time when the song doesn't add to the narrative. I think it's a waste of time. It's like, why are we doing this? I know why they did it, because the first movie they had that whole moments where Arthur, you don't know what's real and what's not. That's what they're kind of play off of. Except the stakes weren't high for this. Oh, it's a song. The stakes aren't high. I didn't go shoot somebody. The stakes just aren't high. And so like when it happens, I'm like, oh, this is there we go, it's song time. The one in the courtroom was the best song though, I would say. If you see it, the courtroom one, where he like bashes a judge in with the freaking gavel, that one's the best one in the whole movie. Fucking great. But I do worry about this. Lexi, what would they do for, I know you're like, before we move on, like I know you're big into like the advertising stuff, and the whole lunchbox thing's been a big deal online where people have been targeting kids for some stuff, where it's been like just shitty people on YouTube. Right. Yeah, it's been really shitty. Do you think there is a route that could use that for benefit in this situation?
Like as far as product on branding on product?
Yeah. Brad, yeah, could it save Captain America?
I can tell you that I am susceptible to branded product. I mean, not branded necessarily to the film, but that if you make like Red Hulk soda and put it out through like Mountain Dew, right? Or a bunch of different flavors through Mountain Dew. So let's say you put out like a bunch of Mountain Dew flavors that are exclusive to this film. I'm going to buy every one of them. And then I'm also going to know the film exists. Because I wouldn't have known the film existed if we weren't talking about it tonight. And so, like, that's the same thing with, like, Doritos. Put a bunch of Doritos out with the Mountain Dews, and then there you go. And then I know about this movie. Like, it's this, oh, what's that Hulk edition, whatever. Now, I would like some actual, flavors instead of you just putting the fucking thing on a bag and selling me some cool Doritos or whatever, because I'm sick of that shit. Like, I would, whatever happened to like fun, it's the exclusive flavor for the film, like that's what I want. Like, I like exclusive. I'm really into like, one-off brand products, limited edition foods, limited edition products. So, like, I'll buy it. In a
special occasion deal.
I have that stupid Coke Oreo sitting in my fridge, and I have the Oreo Coke.
Oreo Coke.
Yeah, they have Coke Oreos, and they have Coke that's flavored like an Oreo. So we have both of them, like the Oreos themselves, and we have the Coke itself. We're just making it down.
I have never heard of that.
Branding I am. Like, I buy everything. Like, when they come out with a new flavor of Coke, I try the new flavor of Coke. I buy the limited editions of all that stuff. So yeah, I'm the kind of person that will buy that stuff, and that might get me to go watch a movie, because if I like the flavor, I might be like, oh, this is good enough for me to go.
I do love Ecto Cooler. They brought that back out for Ghostbusters. That was fucking great. Ecto Cooler. It was great. I loved it so much.
Freestyle machines give you the opportunity to do a lot of branding too, because it doesn't require anything. You just I know not to cut you off, but they just put limited edition things into certain restaurants, and those machines, they just have to put like a poop in the machine. You know what I mean? It takes 2 seconds. It's not like they have to do anything, and then there's just a flavor combo in the machine that just mixes up on its own. So I know I know for the Olympics, a lot of restaurants were doing their own mixes. And I know for certain things like that, like Zaxby's was doing a lot of exclusive flavors for their releases. But Zaxby's is in the South. So nobody knows them.
You know, it'd be great if they have like the Hulk edition of Doritos where they actually fill the bag all the way up. Now it's the full bag of Doritos because it's Hulk size.
Exactly.
And they can make them like green and red, and they can, be, I guess, like chili pepper or something. They can make them different. You know what I mean?
They can bring the guacamole ones back that were actually like all green, and then like there you go, perfect.
Yeah. GR, would you buy that? You like that kind of product stuff or no?
Well, product placement's great. I mean, depends what it is. I mean, some of these flavors they come up with, I wouldn't force my dog to eat. But
my Uncle Marty eats all these things. There's some of them are really disgusting. I'm like, what is this? But sometimes
I want to eat some. I want to taste like something.
Yeah.
Can we stop making everything spicy? Spicy is not the answer either. Like, I'm so fucking tired of everything being flaming hot and spicy. Like,
flaming hot.
Flavor, please. Can I get a flavor? Like ranch, something? God's sake.
Yeah.
Anything. Flaming hot, for God's sake.
Well, all right. I like the spicy shit, so it's okay with me.
I don't mind a little bit. Like that new hot sauce at Taco Bell is bomb. It's so good. A dish of hot, but like, I mean, I'm not into like just burning my mouth for the sake of burning my mouth. Like, that has some flavor. Like, please.
Well, I'm the same way. I'm like, I don't need this shit. Sometimes it's too much. And I'm like, I eat two and I'm like, I got to throw this bag away because it's just disgusting. It's too much. So it's like, now my asshole's going to burn tomorrow. I don't need that either. So, and that's another whole problem.
Brian. I really don't need to know that.
That's all I'm saying. But this is coming. This might burn my asshole too, Brave New World. But I gotta say,
it will. It absolutely will. Burn your retinas and your asshole.
I still hope it's good, though. I still hope it's good. But somebody else burn up that screen pretty soon, everybody. Speaking about flaming hot is, of course, James Dean. And James Dean's getting a biopic, everybody. But we're doing a different twist on James Dean right now. We're going to find out who the real man is, according to what this writer is saying. Let's talk about this biopic in our feature story of the night. So, of course, we love James Dean back in 1955, but after a car accident, only had a handful of movies, like 3 movies he did the whole time. Everyone just loves James Dean so much. Always been just like that heartthrob amongst heartthrobs in Hollywood. Everyone wants to be like James Dean because he had such a limited time in the business, but left such a big impact. And I think that's fantastic, and his legacy is massive. Now, they try and do a James Dean stuff here and there. Of course, James Franco played him in 2001. James Franco, it was okay. It was all right. But now we have a new premise coming forward. This is based off a biopic that, now this rumor's been going on for a long time that James Dean was gay. And so they never really touched upon it before, kind of hinted at things, but always just been about the man, his movie, and his path, and what he brought to the business. But now this new biopic coming forward is going to dive into that realm, because William Best wrote the screenwriter wrote this memoir about James Dean called Surviving James Dean. And he told the story of his gay romance. Now, on the anniversary of the late actor's death, this biopic is moving forward with Guy Guido directing and writing it based off of that memoir, bringing into the world this idea that James Dean had a secret love life with his roommate. His friend became his lover. And now we're going to dive into that aspect of this man to tell his story. Now, this has never been done before for James Dean. It might be a little controversial. Who knows? I don't know what people are going to say about it. People don't even know who James Dean is completely. Like, a lot of people don't even know who he is. Like, Gen Z, do they know James Dean? Does the world know James Dean anymore? There was going to be a biopic where they're going to do they were talking about using just a whole AI computer generated version of James Dean for this movie at one point. I don't know if that's going to happen because this is kind of a new turn for this whole premise. We'll have to wait and find out. They're talking producers. We're talking about writers. They're getting everybody involved. We're looking for casting right now. But the idea is when he came to LA, back when he was 19 years old, he evolved in this relationship with his roommate. And the screenwriter made allegations that two kept the relationship private to protect his career. Because at the time, of course, in Hollywood, that was just not going to fly for a lot of these actors and would cause a lot of problems with their careers because people were fucking assholes back then. And that's just what it was. But here's what is coming forward. Tell you a new tale, a new side of James Dean. Will it be good? Will it not be good? I'm intrigued by it. I'm intrigued by it. I wonder if his estate will let this happen, though, too, because these allegations have been happening for a long time. Would his estate stop this from happening, or would they actually be about it? Because, again, James Dean has, again, this limited mark on Hollywood that people probably want to keep a certain way, and never was confirmed. But honestly, it seems like this confirms it based off other people's interactions with him. I don't know. GR, what do you think? Do you think this is a good way of going about this biopic for James Dean? Big budget, we're getting into his love life and maybe the allegations or I should say like the rumors out there, or do you think we should stick to the man's career and we're doing this big final biopic based off of one of the the legends of Hollywood, I should say?
I don't think he's a legend. The guy was in 3 bloody movies. He was good. I'm not saying he wasn't, but I don't give a shit if he's gay, bisexual, straight. Doesn't matter to me. And I think it's a waste of time, personally.
You think it's a waste of just like the studio's time and money overall? You think that this will even make money?
I mean, he's a good-looking young guy. The only reason he's famous now, Brian, is he was stupid and killed himself.
Yeah, he got into a car accident.
Yeah.
You know?
He killed himself doing 120 on the freeway, and his car blew a tire and flipped.
Do you think that? Yeah, I mean that's happened to a lot of people out here. Look at from Fast and the Furious. Paul Walker got into an accident too and died just like that. Just because he just was going too fast and racing. So that can happen.
Not too fast and furious.
SOS, Brian.
Yeah.
Stuck on stupid.
Stuck on stupid. But I think this could be something that could leave a mark, though, too. I honestly, I agree with you, JR. Like, James Dean, to go back in his history, it's like 3 movies. It's not a lot, but he did leave an impact, Lexi. So do you think that because after all this time, 3 movies was enough to make this man still influential in Hollywood, would this story come out telling a different side of him change anything in the business?
Actually, I kind of agree with GR. Like, I've always wondered too, like, other than the fact that he was hot and he like was charismatic, he was in like 3 fucking movies, and it was just like they weren't even really like great movies. They were like those like starter of your career kind of movies. Like, I feel like his 3rd film might have been like his best one, but like, wasn't his first film like one of those like shitty motorcycle films like that like were popular in the 50s or whatever? Like those, like, you know what I mean? Like, they're just like that kind of stuff. So like, I mean, like, he wasn't exactly like. And I do feel like Paul Walker and him are like, I feel like Paul Walker is the modern day James Dean in a lot of ways.
Kind of.
Hollywood lets actors drive Porsches. They're fucking death traps. And it's not like they're not known for it. It's like the 911 from the 80s was known as the Widowmaker. It's like this particular model was known to have a tail that steps out. They built these cars like the one that killed Walker has a reputation of even today being one of like the most dangerous and whatever cars. They don't put like any sort of traction controls or any sort of like safety monitors in them because they're supposed to be for people who are seasoned drivers. Which James Dean was a seasoned driver. He had been in Le Mans. He was like a proper racer at that point. He didn't even want to act anymore. He pretty much was acting to fuel his racing career. So I've always thought it'd be more interesting to talk about that side of things. And the little bastard, he bought that car because he was impatient. He was waiting for like his other car to come in, and he was like, I can't wait anymore. So he bought this at the last minute, and he was waiting for a Lotus is what it was. And he picked his Lotus to come in, and when his Lotus didn't come in, he got this thing instead. And it, snap oversteered and killed him. And then the parts of that car are notorious for killing people too. Even after its death, the little bastard goes on for killing people, even parts of the car and everything. I mean, it's notorious for being like one of the worst.
Is Little Bastard the name of the car? That's the name of the car, Little Bastard?
Yeah.
I thought you were calling him a little bastard for a long time. I'm like, oh, she's like James Dean's
little bastard. But me and Rachel were laughing the other day. We were having a conversation about like throughout history, like how there were all these like women that they would like write about how they were like best friends, and they would like write these letters, and I licked like the letter and like your saliva was on it, and like they were roommates and things like that. And it's like they're clearly lesbian lovers, you know what I mean? And they always call them roommates, or they would call them like best friends, or they never married, but they lived with their best friend for all of their life together.
Yes.
That kind of shit.
Yes, it's just my best friend.
We were laughing about that. So it's just like the James Dean thing, it just makes me think of like that same thing. It's like, oh, his roommate, of course, like that, that sort of conversation or whatever. But I think James Dean was probably bisexual. Like, I don't think he was gay. I think he was bisexual. And I think that a lot of these stories that we talk about where they try to go, oh, this guy was gay. I'm like, it's the same with Freddie Mercury. Freddie Mercury was bisexual. He wasn't gay. Like, it's the same conversation. Like, they want to typecast one way or the other, and they never want to have that conversation about bisexuality. And I'm like, Hollywood is rife with bisexuality all throughout history. And I'm like, I think it's really common to find bisexuality in Hollywood. It's like a bunch of very attractive people working with a bunch of very attractive people. And so I think like they all just kind of just are like fucking each other. You know what I mean? I think it's
actually that time they're all doing all the drugs. Like there's like
For
cocaine
sure.
flying everywhere.
For sure.
They're just like,
and, yeah,
doing bumps, drinking.
Vincent Price was openly bisexual. I mean, it's like, it's not anything new. And I mean, Vincent Price is a fucking beast. I love him.
Been going on for decades. What the
Yeah.
hell?
And I mean, like, at the end of the day, like, is this the conversation to have about James Dean? Or is the conversation that I was having more interesting? Because I think the one I was having was more interesting than him being gay. And as far as like Gen Z remembering who he is,
Yeah, do you think they wouldn't even know?
James Dean, Marilyn Monroe, Che Guevara. Those are all posters you see on people's walls still to this day. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're just those like iconic silhouettes that you could literally.
But why
like,
him?
draw.
3 movies. Why him? Like he barely did any movies. Like why is he so?
Because that picture that he took is so fucking sexy. You know that picture of him leaning against the light post of him like just like that like the poster that I'm talking about, the same poster.
Yeah.
It's the same that poster, the picture of Marilyn over the vent. They're so good. They're so iconic. Once you get that shot that just captures something so beautifully, so perfectly. He was very photogenic, and they did a lot of really great black and white photos of him, and he had a really great stance. You know who I feel looks a lot like him is the guy from Sons of Anarchy, the lead.
Charlie Hunnam?
Yeah, that guy could do it.
Edward Guy was it Edward Gein?
The guy Edward Gein, the sexy Edward Gein coming up. Yeah, that guy. But that guy's actually like, I think that guy is James Dean hot. I think that guy could fucking, I think that guy could also be photographed in a very beautifully charismatic photo that one day, if he died, we could remember. To me, the James Dean photo that is flawless for Walker is the poster for, I believe it's the one where the poster where he's standing next to the blue Escort. And it's just that shot of him with his back leaned up against the blue Ford Escort. I think it's the poster for 7. It's right before he died. In that little car, and it's just that shot of just the white. It's just like an all white background. It's just this blue Escort with him leaned against it. That is one of the most iconic pictures I have ever seen in my entire life. And I feel that's James Dean grade iconic.
Yeah, people always try to relate that to that. Like, what's our James Dean moment? There's a lot of that throughout history.
When I look at Walker, I see James Dean. I see so much correlation to it, and so I just find myself
his death, as you said too.
Right down to the car stuff and everything, and I just find myself like going like, I think the conversation isn't really like about Dean himself. I don't think it was really that. I think it's those people. Do you know what I'm saying? There's a person that comes along every so often that is this kind of iconic pretty boy
enigma
that really is into like something dangerous, and then that dangerous thing takes them out in the midst of their career, and it kind of locks them in forever as an icon of that. Because James Dean is to cars what Walker is to cars. So is Steve McQueen. These are 3 iconic like actors.
Steve McQueen, 100%.
In the car industry, like, but to car people, those 3 names, like, they mean so much. Like, to this day, every car I see still has a tuna no crust on it. That's
we have to address something, Lexi. Timothy Chalamet as James Dean. Timothy Chalamet as James Dean.
God damn it. That's what they would do. I think there are a lot better.
James Franco's comeback. He said he's going to reprise his role. James Franco's comeback. Never going to happen. Never going to happen.
Franco was kind of like a caricature of him. It wasn't really like him exactly. So
he also had that acting class where he's getting all the girls naked and having them, pretty much simulate sex for him. That's why he was canceled. So I think he's not coming back. I can't imagine. So much so that Seth Rogen's like, no, he's not my friend anymore. And it's like, it's freaking have problems, I can't imagine.
It sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, it sucks.
He
I
was
can
a
see
talented actor though, so that does
Yeah.
suck. Like comparatively,
He just
he
wasn't-
was the best part of a lot of Rogen's films. So
Yeah, he was. He was funny. He's fucking funny. In the interview, he's fucking great too. I love the interview. I know that one came out like during a time too where you had to go watch it at home, but
such a
it
weird
was
movie.
weird movie. Katy Perry was like, "You can use my song. Why not?"
Yeah.
But I'd say like the James Dean thing, there is probably a better topic here. You're right, Alexia. Different way of looking at this as well. More about being a figure who, is like his own demise through like his own, like, being obsessed with cars, right? Something like that could be kind of more interesting as opposed to like, you're right. They're not really focusing on it right, I don't think. And James Dean, again, he's like this pop culture icon and he doesn't really have much substance to there's not much to tell about his life, I don't think. But then again, maybe there is. Maybe I'm totally wrong about this.
Lexi said it best. One great picture, and those three you cited, Lexi, were dead on. One great picture can make you stand out forever.
Yeah, and that's it.
Che Guevara was an asshole, communist, pinko wacko, but he's got a great picture, so he's famous to people that don't know anything about history.
Yeah, in his own regard, because of like what you bring for that role. Sometimes what you put on that screen sometimes will shine forever. And that's the best part about Hollywood sometimes too, is you can leave an impact that much to influence generations just based off of one thing you did at one moment of time. And I think James Dean did do that for a lot of people. Like Lexi's saying, he's still on a lot of people's college dorm rooms. They're still putting those pictures out there to him. And honestly, I bet he'd be excited that his career is still, we're still talking about here in 2024, and he's been gone forever now, like since the 50s. It's crazy.
I agree with what Rachel said. I think this is a film that focuses on that side of the golden age of Hollywood and the closeted homosexuality that was going on and those conversations. Yeah. I think that's more of a film in and of itself because there was so much of it. And I think it's more, how do we talk about how that was handled and what went on and all that kind of stuff. I think that's more of the conversation than James Dean and his weird, because I do honestly think James Dean was bisexual.
Him and his roommate. That's what it is, about him and his roommate. I think there's more to tell here too. I think there is.
One night that you have a gay time with your friend, like whatever, okay, cool. Like that used to be a whole movie. Like that guy who made 3 movies in his life and died by a car accident because he was an idiot and drove too fast into the fucking wall. And then we're gonna make a movie about that time he was gay.
One Night Only is gonna be called One Night Only.
A movie that I want to watch more. I think I'll be going to watch that fucking the one we just talked about before I'll watch this one. And I'm not watching the other one.
I would say this director needs to do something like that. I mean, again, they're going to the studio with this approach. They're approaching them with that. He's got the script written. He's attached to it. He's getting funding. It's moving forward. They're do casting next. So we'll have to wait and find out. Hopefully, there's more. There's some meat in this potatoes. Hopefully, I hope. And I hope there's like a lot that can actually delve into this world. I like that, going back to old Hollywood and delving into that, what it was actually like. More interesting than just.
What's that movie with Brendan Fraser, where it's about the actor who played Frankenstein, and it's about his gay relationship with that guy, Gods and Monsters, I think it's called.
Oh, I don't think I ever saw that.
Brilliant film. If you ever want to see a movie about like the golden age of Hollywood and the homosexuality and people having to keep their stuff in the closet, Gods and Monsters, Brendan Fraser, one of the best movies.
Gods and Monsters.
How many Hollywood marriages were to hide the sexuality?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's many a big thing too. So many, even the same people say things like that too, like Will Smith. They would say it about him, and Jada, that they were together behind him. That's been a whole thing. I mean, I don't know. Will Smith's been used for a lot of weirder things. He's too busy farting in cars these days.
We talked about Tom Cruise tonight.
Tom Cruise is straight.
They've often been thought about him being gay, though. That's been a big Hollywood rumor for years and years and years.
And he's like in that world too. Like, I think he's, of course, what James Dean could have been. I think he could have been Tom Cruise if he wouldn't have died. And Tom Cruise is, again, like an enigma. He's so different than everybody else out there. He's still Tom Cruise. He's a brand. He's one of the biggest movie stars out there. And, he kicks ass what he does. He gives it his all. But he doesn't talk about his life, his personal life at all. He just doesn't. Since his divorces and stuff like that. But it's always been a little bit of trickle through the cracks that there's something else going on behind doors or closed doors with Tom Cruise. Which, whatever. Let him live his life. He's like, keep it on the press. But James Dean, everybody, we're not keeping this on the press. Biopic is moving forward. And if you're excited about it, let us know. Let us know. If you're not, give us a thumbs down, not in the video, but in the comments. Thumbs down to it. Thumbs up to this video, because we appreciate that the most. But anyways, everybody, thank you for being here as always. Happy Monday. Fun time as always. Hope you guys had a good time. Thank you all for being here as always. Popping here, 289 people. Appreciate you. Numbers are going up because of you too. We see numbers going up every day. So hopefully hit that 3,000 before the end of the month. That's the hope. That's the hope and the plan and the idea, hopefully. So we'll see. But thank you all for being here. As always, Mr. GR Waters, our tech director himself. Thank you for being here, GR. Hope you had a good time.
It was great being here, Brian. It always is.
The Thirsty Daddy. Yeah. Thank you as always, GR. Appreciate you. Lexi Koval, thank you as always, Lexi, for being here. Happy Monday. Hope you had a great time. Appreciate you joining us on a Monday.
I love
we need a theme song for you, Lexi. We need a theme song.
It just gives me a chance to complain about things. So.
I mean, would it be a thing where you'd be like, just pick a song, or do you want to pick a song? Because
we'll talk.
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk.
I picked Jordan's. I'm gonna try to pick some. I'm doing for Jordan on Friday. I don't know if he really liked it or not, but he was like, "What?" He was like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "Well, don't worry about that. Don't worry about it. It's good. It's good."
He just wants you got to touch all the time. That's all he wants.
He wants to touch.
He wants to be touched.
He wants to touch.
Okay. That's enough.
Thank you, David Banner. Thank you, Queen, for being here. Thank you, Rachel. Barnabas, thank you for being here too. And thank you for saying it's a great show. Appreciate you. Come back, Barnabas. Good to see you all. But thank you all for being here as always. Happy Monday. Woo! I gotta take the jacket off because that's what I do. So I know. It's a good moment, but it's also a great edit point too. I'm editing this later, so let's me the show's done. Thank you all for being here. As always, appreciate you. Hope you had a great time. We'll be back again on a hump day, as always, for a hump day edition. But everybody, you got to keep spreading that love, that word, and that business out there because of you. The numbers are going up. We're at 27, almost 2,800. Please get there by the end of the month. Join our membership if you can. But as always, spread that word. You got to tell your friends, your family, your uncles, your aunts, your grandmas, your grandpas, your great-grandmas and grandparents. I know people live the dream, Peppy, who came down from Venus, Jupiter, Uranus, landed smack down in someone's backyard that you didn't know they were there, but the backyard became a backyard because there was no backyard before, but a pool appeared, and all of a sudden a big fucking chinchilla party happened. Those chinchillas are crazy. They're fucking nuts. The kangaroos popped in. They're popping in there too. The joeys are there. Every freaking koala bear that came down, and the slow lemurs coming fucking slow, hitting that light button like everybody else. They're popping there with the squirrels and all the beavers. And of course, the mailman's there like, what the fuck is happening again? He throws the package, he runs, he subscribes to Kruse Control, and you do too. And please keep spreading the word because when you do that, we'll make that fucking million eventually. That's some fucking shit. I don't know what I'm just saying anymore. But thank you all for being here as always. We'll get to that million. We'll get to that 3. We'll get to hopefully 5 at the end of the year. And because of you, we'll show. Just keep going. Anyways, have a great night. Happy Monday. And, we'll see you back on Hump Day, everybody. Until then, enjoy your night, enjoy your Monday. I know it's Monday; it's the hardest day of the week, but you know what? Wednesday will be here soon, and the weekend is shortly.
The humpiest day.
Humpiest day. We'll be humping it up soon. Oh, GR. Round of applause for GR. Humping it up soon. Anyways, everybody, until Wednesday. See ya.
Yo, player, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when we are live. And if you are able to join our Patreon, please join. Because the Pep Star needs more snickety snacks. Because I'm hungry. Holla back. Love y'all.